there are some very interesting Yu-Gi-Oh decks that have topped over this weekend. So class, I have quite a few decks that we're going to be talking about, and chat and I will be discussing the changes that have happened over the format and what exactly do we think about the new time rules. Let's go ahead and jump on in. What's going on? What's y'all, big dog? And it is an amazing day for Yu-Gi-Oh! I hope that your day phenomenal. But if it isn't, don't let what happened at the beginning of your day ruin the rest of your day. How do you say it in Italiano?
Non lasciare che ciò che accade all'inizio della giornata rovini il resto della giornata.
What? Non lasciare che accada all'inizio dello Giovanni rovino le resta della Rino. Yeah, don't ruin your day. Yo, it's crazy. So dogs, there is a couple of things that we have to talk about before we get into the deck list and stuff, but don't worry, my editor has left me timestamps so you guys can just click on the deck that you want. One thing that I want everyone to talk about, this is you guys' assignment, is that if you participated in the regionals or anything, make sure you let us know down below in the comment section, what do you think about the new time rules? Pretend I'm a boomer. What are the new time rules? Okay, so to put it very simply, both players now have 50 minutes to complete the match. Best of 3. If they don't, they lose. And I mean both of them. I actually made an entire video talking about the new time rules and everything you need to know about it. I switched to Lorcana TCG before the time rules, so I don't know. Brother. From my experience with the time rules, I haven't experienced them. My games rarely go to that extra minute that you need to be able to play in time. I'd like to say that in most of my games overall, they were decided fairly quick. Either I'm scraping my opponent or, oh no,
I'm in danger.
So the time rules hasn't necessarily affected me directly, but what I can say is that now matches actually end in 50 minutes. That is amazing. I'm hopeful. I just know that some people can be petty and will drag you down with them. That has not happened to me yet, but I can imagine that that would be the most frustrating thing. In fact, a lot of players were actually talking about that over the interwebs, especially Twitter, that there were double losses being handed in the final round with the both players undefeated. I'm not 100% sure about the validity of that, but I've heard that it's genuinely impacted some players' game. But from what I've been hearing, a lot of players, before the loss is given out, they'll assess the game state and figure out who would have won in that situation and honorably get it all situated. I like that. Most people are chill about it. That's my experience. But because of this, there are some changes in the dynamic of Yu-Gi-Oh! One thing that I've seen players drop completely from their Yu-Gi-Oh! decks are time cards. That's right, big dogs. Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood is officially a bad card. Ironically enough, I even have proof. Hold on, let me see if I can get it for you. Hey, TJ.
I ain't do it.
I'm in Our Favorite Virgin used Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood at the Las Vegas Regional, right?
And he lost, didn't he?
What was his record?
4-4.
Let's go! 50% success. So what? We won the important games at the end of the regional.
I wonder how many wins he begged for.
Please let me get the win. Hey, we have a picture of Iman literally doing this. Will you let me have the win? With time cards officially dead, players can play more toxic cards inside of their decks. And now we get to see what the top strategies in Yu-Gi-Oh! Are updating their strategies too. This is a yummy topping deck piloted by Gasan O. By the way, cool name. Don't know if I said it wrong. And this man's playing Gravity Collapse. In case you don't know what Gravity Collapse does, it says activate by sending one face-up synchro monster you control into the graveyard. When your opponent summons a monster, negate the summon and destroy that card. Your opponent cannot summon a monster until the end phase of the next turn. They can't even nib you. It's starting to seem that yummy decks are also playing a combination of both hand traps and board breakers, and the best hand traps are Ash, Veiler, Nib, Ogre, Mourner. The Mole Charmies aren't that bad, but they also aren't that good against a really skilled player. And that's what one of the best decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is doing, but we do get an opportunity to look at all of them. Take a look at Dine Karnan's Vanquish Soul K9 deck. Not really much has changed in here. I love that players are starting to mainboard Fantastical Dragon Phantasme. I think it's an exquisite card. And Ghost Bell is in the sideboard. There's no board breakers, just hand traps, but I genuinely like this particular deck build. The only thing that I would personally change is I think that it's way too risky to not run Pot of Extravagance. This is as a Vanquish Soul connoisseur. My reason being is because if you're not going to play the Paradise Smasher line, then Pot of Extravagance lets you get into your engine even faster, or Baits and Ash Blossom at the very worst. You don't use your extra deck enough to be able to justify not playing Extravagance. You do lose out on certain things, like the Nash line becomes a little bit weaker if you get it Extravagance and stuff like that. But overall, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think about it. But this is Vanquish Soul in an updated look of what a lot of strategies may look like. We talked about how K9 Crystron is also pretty powerful, and this deck more or less has been the same. A lot of players are starting to sideboard more copies or just play more copies of a case of K9. I like it because if you know you're going second against hand traps, you can easily a case for K9 into your full K9 combo. And K9 Crystron is easily one of the strongest decks in the game because you can K9 combo into your Crystron combo and vice versa. I like overall how none of these decks have been incredibly expensive. I mean, sure, there's K9 Izuna, which is kind of expensive, but everything else has been pretty easy to get a hold of. Even Dracotail has started to play the K9 engine, and I kind of like it. It's if your K9 cards get stopped, they're normally by hand traps, which means you can K9. And it also makes you a little bit less susceptible to cards like Dimensional Barrier. You know what I mean? This overall is a really solid deck too. And lastly, or the last two strategies I want to show you an update on is Ryzeal Mitsurugi. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. This deck's not bad, but holy crap. Remember when it was dominant, chat? Nothing changed manless wise, and it's still not dominant. This guy's gooning. He's actually playing the level 5, but I'm pretty sure he's sending it to the graveyard with a card effect. Oh, of course, duh. X Ryzeal to send it to the graveyard to be able to destroy a face down card on the field. That's pretty smart. So now that we're done looking at that garbage, guys, we're here to talk about the interesting Yu-Gi-Oh decks. One that's really interesting, this deck almost completely fell off the spot. It's Blue Eyes. That's right, big dogs. Blue Eyes White Dragon, piloted by Malbur B. Crazy name. This is a really, really interesting deck list. There's only 2 copies of Wishes for the Eyes of Blue. I assume that the only reason why we're running 2 is because once we resolve 1, we don't need the next one. But what I like about Blue Eyes is that its ability to be able to play a tons of interruptions. Effect Veiler is searchable in this deck, which is pretty good this format. It can stop quite a few things. There's also Ghost Bell, Ash Blossom, both of the Molcharmies, and Dominus Purge, a really good sticking point. I like that the Primite engine is an infinite Primite Drill Beam if you play the deck over and over again. Blue Eyes actually makes some strides, and this person is playing the Cosmic Blazar combo, which means you make the Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon, then you make the Crimson Dragon to turn it into a Blazar Dragon. Really, really cool to see interesting decks like Blue Eyes still be competitive. I also like the Dragon's Mind. This card's crazy in case you guys don't know what it does. When a spell trap or monster effect is activated while you control the monster with 2,500 original attack or defense, you get to negate the activation. Then, if it's in your graveyard, you can make 2,500 life points, set this card. So it's literally a walking solemn warning or solemn judgment that can set itself, and all you have to do is play Blue Eyes. I'm excited for Orcust Mitsurugi because it's finally in Europe. Whoa! You guys actually have the new set, or the old set by now, Battles of Legends Monsters Mayhem, will already know where you could be putting your cards that you pull from the new set. Your Raven Wing version 4s, big dogs. Big dogs, you will be buying the #1 sleeve in the entire universe. All you got to do is go to TheCaliEffect.com and pick up your sleeves today. Not only can you support the channel, you can also get something in return. And I'm sorry, Europeans, while you do have Battles of Legends Monsters Mayhem, I don't think we ship to Europe yet. We got to figure that out. Hey, baby! We shipping to Europe? Oh, we don't ship to Europe. But Orcust Mitsurugi coming late to the Europe party means that it got to make an impact, and we got to see how strong the Yu-Gi-Oh strategy is. Plot twist, it actually topped quite a bit. This is Mitsurugi Orcust K9, with the K9 cards only being Izuna and Lupus. I think that this is one of those ones, actually really, really powerful. Players have been sleeping on Mitsurugi and players have been sleeping on Orcust, and this is a build that blends both of them alongside of Dominus Impulse. Wait, if you Impulse, you can't use these effects, right? They're going crazy. You can't use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards out of your deck. So I guess if you just Impulse, you never go into K9 combo. But no, I actually really do like this build. It looks really fun. Holy crap, don't show TJ this build. There's also another really good deck that you guys have been gooning over for quite some time. This is Andre Luna's Going Second Sky Striker deck. This is a really, really powerful deck. Think about it, guys. You go second, you break boards. Some of the best cards in the game are spell cards. We have Triple Tactics Thrust, Salesband, Droplet, Talent, and all of these cards are cumulatively putting spell cards at the graveyard to be able to get Engage's nasty second effect. It's Upstart Goblin plus a search. It's Pot of Greed, except better. Never would I think that a Yu-Gi-Oh card reads Pot of Greed, but better. And it's even using Songs of the Dominators. I really like this card.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
Hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. It's not Sky Strikers, kind of worse. A deck that can go second in OTK, but if it goes first, it summons a Morphage Goliath. And this card says, neither player can special summon monsters from the extra deck. While you control a Morphage monster, any card sent from to the graveyard is banished instead. I don't think he plays a second Morphage monster, so that's not necessarily a problem. Look, guys, for the people that are still trying to make Dragon Rulers work, here is a build that actually topped a regional. I'm not sure what place it got. It got 8 at least. So there you have it. And it's a cheap $100 Yu-Gi-Oh deck. You really can't be mad with any of that, right? We have a Fiendsmith Primite Blue Eyes deck. And I want to point out the Raigeki, man. Pick up your Raigekis. They come Starlight right now. Pretty good. And it's playing a bigger Primite engine with the Primite Scream in the side deck. And it's also playing Fiendsmith. So in case you guys were looking for something a little bit different than regular Blue Eyes, you have this. This could also still work. Players said that Gem Knight were completely dead, and here we are, still alive. Not really much to say about this deck. If it goes second, it can pretty much, it can mess you over, and it can win just like that. I like that this deck has shifted from Fiendsmith to just pure Gem Knight. I like the Fiendsmith variant. It was pretty cool, but the Gem Knight variant, just pure, is pretty crazy. Pure Memento is always a really fun deck to watch because they always play minimal hand traps, and their board breakers are always interesting. This time around, we got 3 Sleepy, 3 Ash, 2 Ogre, 3 Infinite Impermanence. Those are cards that normally you don't play at that number, but are being played. I genuinely like this deck. I think this is one of the funnest decks to ever play because it has so many like interactions, so many card combos and cool things you can do. So I am a Memento believer to the death of me. And lastly, we have one more deck for you guys to look at. Fiendsmith K9 PUNK. Every single Battles of Legends Monster Mayhem deck top this weekend. We have Gem Knights, we have Orcust, we have Punk. I guess we're missing Dragon Maids, but that did top the week before. Huh. Interesting. I think we're finally going to have to start backtracking on Battles of Legends Monster Mayhem and say that it may be a better set in just overlooked. It could be because European players just got the set and they're experimenting with it, but the decks are still being successful. That's something to take in consideration. Regardless, this is a don't show this to TJ, okay? That's all I'm saying. I like this version of the deck. I think it's a pretty cool one. But that's all that we have for the interesting decks that topped this weekend. It was really, really fun to do this type of video. Of course, if you guys want to see more amazing content like this, go ahead and let me know down below in the comment section. But also, be sure to check out these videos so I can catch you on the next one.